mountain inside your chest. It's been a while, just waiting to crest. Look through the fog and clench your fists. Strike a spark, ignite the mist. Feel the earth beneath your soles. Roots run deep, you're in control. Whisper loud and let them hear. Every answer's in your mirror. Step into the light, my friend. The power's in your
Step into the Billightenment.
Break the
Our friend Sheila
chains
Tillich
and
is
watch
back. We're going to do it on a regular basis with Sheila. And I went to see Sheila at her voodoo lounge. But it's not. It's lovely. And what was the healing you did on me?
I did a combination of 3 different things.
Oh, well, that
Really
sounds
4.
4.
Really 4. I did more of the galactic higher consciousness frequency. I did Reiki, and I did IET and unity field healing.
Okay, so wow.
Yeah, there's 4 different things.
All right, let me pull that mic up just a little bit higher.
Can you?
Yeah, if we just pull you up with this, let's see.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Danny has it so it slips down, so I might have to do some.
I'll keep
magic.
watching it. Oh, it's doing it again.
Yeah, you can see. All right, hang on one second. Not a problem. This is where we edit.
All right.
So what happens is.
Is that the weight of it? Okay, that's good. All right, better. And what about the camera? Camera looks like it's over there.
No, I know. I have you centered on here.
Okay, good.
Because I can adjust the way the picture is.
All right, good.
So tell me the 4 again. That's a lot.
I know. Well, it's because of my calibration or my frequency.
Okay.
Right. So I've been doing this for a long time. So the first is the actual energy of the higher consciousness, which is part of the Star Mother's roles and all that.
And what one is that called?
It's called me channeling the Star Mothers.
Oh, the Star Mothers. I'm sorry. I knew you said that there were 4, so I was going to.
There is. That's the first one. The second one is Reiki.
Reiki.
And then integrated energy therapy, IET.
That's what the one you were telling me about.
And that's the one that
I did tell my mother, and I couldn't remember integrated energy.
One with the angels.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the 4th one was unity field healing. That deals more of your higher consciousness chromosome, your 24th multidimensional chromosome.
Okay.
It's like when you think of laser technology and stem cell research and stuff like that, it's higher quantum energy.
Okay.
Right. And so when I do a session, because I'm recalibrated up to do that, it all comes in my session. So
it just kind of comes in anyway. Mm-hmm. It's just a byproduct of.
Yeah. But I say it's 3 in 1.
Yeah.
Reiki, IET, and unity field, because people don't really know that much about the higher frequency, Star Mother connection.
Right. So how is that different from other healings? People probably the one that most people would know out of this would be Reiki, right?
Right.
And Reiki is more energy movement?
Well, it's all Eastern medicine or of energy medicine.
Okay.
And Reiki deals with the chakras, and it has to do with chakras are the energy wheels of the body that moves the energy up and down.
Right.
So think of your body as an electromagnetic machine, and that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
All right. And the chakras are energy centers that kind of moves the energy all around. And everything we've experienced in our lifetime, and also the other lifetimes, if you believe in that, is within the energy field of what you came in with.
Okay.
Reiki is more of a passive energy that uses the energy from the universe, life force energy, and it's brought through the practitioner, through the energy centers of the practitioner, through the actual secondary chakras in the hands.
Oh, okay.
So there's chakras all throughout the whole body. The main ones are the 7 that most people know, from the root chakra at the bottom of the tailbone, going all the way up the spinal column.
Right.
Right. And then it's also the energy chakra is above your head, which is called the soul star. And then there's one below your feet, which is called the earth star chakra. And it's the magnetic field that's around you. So what Reiki does is it's a passive energy where the practitioner puts their hands around the chakras in different areas of the body, and the body knows how to heal itself.
Yes.
And so it does it slowly.
Okay.
Some people have problems with, pain or injuries in different area,
Mhm.
and they can actually put the energy from the hands over the area and put the energy in there. And then the body slowly heals itself. But it has to do with the intention of the person.
Mm.
That is
The
the whole
intention
key.
of the practitioner,
No, it's the
or
intention of the
person laying on the
person.
table that's getting
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so most people know Reiki, and I'm a Reiki master. I do that
Mhm.
too. However, I specialize in more of the DNA, the
Okay.
cellular membrane of the DNA,
Right.
which means it is more of a deep part of the body, of
Right.
the DNA, and it has to do with meridians and channels of the body, not so much just the chakras.
Okay.
So we have in IET, there's actually 9 different areas of cellular memory and integration points where different things are stored in the body. Right. So I can't really go into the angels because that would be teaching and it's all copyrighted. But basically, everything you've experienced as a soul, as a person, is in your cellular structure. In other
Okay.
words, your physical body, your emotional body,
Yeah.
your mental body, and then also your spiritual body.
Okay.
And so what IET does is IET is more of a quantum energy, and it's active energy, which means it uses more than just the higher life force of the universe that Reiki uses. It actually is the quantum energy where it is going down to the earth with the frequency in the earth, coming up, bringing it through the heart center. It's all about the heart.
Mhm.
IET is about the heart. And then it is goes through the practitioner, and then the practitioner goes to the person, and it's like that energy loop, the figure 8 energy loop.
Okay.
So the quantum energy is coming from below, up above, and going up and down. And it's actually concentrated in the gateway of the heart. All right. That's why people always talk about your heart center and how powerful it is,
Mhm.
because it's about your electromagnetic field and how everything is circulated around your body. All right. So IET is a lot like acupuncture.
Okay. Yep.
It
You
has
said
a
that.
lot to do with the meridians that brings energy to all different places of the body, including the organs, and the channels between the meridians. Right.
Mm.
So you've got, it's like a beaver, all right, in a river. And what IET is about the negative and the positive in the cellular memory, energy in the cellular memory. So IET works with negativity and positivity, and it's done with a higher quantum energy, which is the angels.
Mhm.
All right, and I've connected with angels since I was born, and the angels are the ones that kind of come through, and they take the blockage away. And after they take the blockage away through me,
Mhm.
so I'm connected to the person, their heart, through my energy. The angels come through me and the different areas of the person. I take that blockage away, and then they take it away. I take it away through my hands, and it goes up through my heart up to them. And then they turn around and bring the energy back through me, and I put the positive on a layer of energy.
Mm.
Right? So a lot of people really don't understand that, but there's many layers upon layers upon layers of energy that never got resolved.
Mm.
All right, it's stuck, and it can cause dis-ease in the body. In other words, disease
Mhm.
in the physical body, emotional, mental, and spiritual.
This is it's interesting because I don't know what to ask next.
Oh, let's talk about unity field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about the unity field, because, and then I want to ask what I think is a question most people do ask you.
Yeah.
And then get into kind of how this all is played out. So what the unity field?
So IET is done with the 12 spiritual strands of your DNA, the energy within your strands.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people think that I'm changing their DNA, right? When I go in there, I'm really not. The first and second strand is the physical body,
Right.
and then the emotional body. when they do emotional testing and stuff like that, the extrovert, introvert, that type of thing.
Yes.
And how they respond to emotions. So that is where that comes in. But science has proven that there's more than just the two first DNA parts of our bodies. There's actually 12 sets. All right. So it comes in pairs. There's 12 sets. And the 12 sets is about your soul's potential.
Okay.
What are you here to learn?
Yeah.
Where did you come from? But what are you here to learn? And everything that you've done is stored within the energy field of those DNA areas.
Okay.
So that's the 12 spiritual strands. Now, we have another modality that actually was developed by one of my close friends, Dr. John Ryan, who is from Ottawa, Canada. He's a medical doctor. He's still practicing. And he's also on the Cryon team. That's where I met him, through Lee Carroll and his team of top scientists on spirituality.
Okay.
Right? So all different ones around that world that measures all this about energy and how it affects the body.
Yeah.
Okay. So unity field healing was brought to him through his higher consciousness. All right. In other words, you can tap into a higher source of energy. A lot of people, calls it meditation and transmeditational type of thing. But it is the connection to the energy, the powerful energy around us. So our consciousness fields, and there's actually 3 different areas of that, which we can talk about after I tell you about unity field. So unity field is about the 24th multidimensional spiritual energy that we have as spiritual beings, where we came from. Right? And it deals with 24th multidimensional chromosome that you cannot see, but it's there. And that's what all the high technology that's here, laser surgery, all this stuff, that's what it is. And this time on Earth is about awakening of that energy, of what is happening. Right? It also is affecting the whole Earth, but the 24th chromosome actually picks up what you came here to do. All those other lifetimes that you had, all right, and experiences, it pulls the good stuff. It allows you to let go of the bad stuff and just use the good stuff. In other words, it's the wisdom of your soul, the things that you've learned. So when I put all those together, first of all, the person comes to me as an intention for a healing. And I know you can share your healing that I did with you, but it's all about the intention. And it cannot hurt you at all. Right? Energy cannot hurt you. It has to do with your receptibility and intuition to want to do it. All right. And the healing is profound.
Yeah. Yes, I guess. Well, we'll go there because you told me that this is one of 3, right? There's 3 sessions, and that I would feel up and down.
Right.
And I have felt more up than down.
Good. That's great.
But I've noticed, and I don't know if it's kind of an old me that has returned. I would say more of an authentic, in that I don't want to waste time.
That is your soul's purpose. What is life really all about?
So I've had a couple things this week, conversations, and somebody has said, well, you blank, right? Whatever. Not calling me a name. I don't mean to, like, I'm editing myself.
Crazy.
What I mean, no, not even crazy. Just like in the past, you reacted this way, or you did this, or this is how it was, or this is why.
You're not acting like that now.
And all I said was, I don't care about that. I can't affect that. I can only affect now. And I want this now. Or you don't agree with me. You have a different opinion and you won't share your opinion. And I go, because it's a waste of time. We're just going to go around in a circle and it's not going to affect the outcome. And I don't feel like wasting my time. And it's weird. I used to say that a lot. I used to, when my older boys were little, I would get so frustrated with them because we'd find one shoe down in the rec room in the basement, and we're up 2 floors and in their bedroom, and we have one other shoe. Yeah. And I'm going around, and I used to say, this is what I would say, though. I had this thing, and it was like my mantra. I go, do you know why I hang up my keys? I hang up my keys because I don't want to spend my time looking for them. I don't know how much time I have on this planet, but I'm not going to use it looking for my keys.
That's
So I
good.
hang my keys up. And well, okay. I think after a while it was like, Charlie Brown's parents. But I felt that again. And I also saw where I was bothered more by what I would, I can't say bothered, but frustrated by what I would say is like silly thinking, which sounds so, it sounds so, I don't know, pompous, I think would be the word to say, right? But there were times like on the podcast where I'm going, I can't agree with this because I don't know that it's real. And and in the end, it does. I'll give you an example. Somebody was very upset over the fact that cursive is not being taught in schools anymore.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't care. And they're like, well, what? I said, because I know a lot of people who can write beautifully in cursive, but they're babbling morons. I mean, they just are. And you know what I mean? Like that's not a sign of intelligence. It's just not. And so I went, I look, the world has advanced, and whether or not they're teaching it, I don't know. I know in some places they are.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not in other places. I'm only familiar with the places that are.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but to get myself all bent out of shape over
Right.
something that is not going to impact my day or life right now seems like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And that has come back. And I will also say I have felt more focused. My son has been with his mom this week, and my thing was like, I had this big, what are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
I love it.
I had this big long list of shit I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
I mean, oh God, it needed a truck to bring it in. All the things I wanted to do, right? In the idea space. And I got a lot of it done.
Good.
Like a lot of it done. Yeah, I it was kind of amazing. Like I have paid for a website,
Uh-huh.
and I never set it up. I didn't know how. I was like,
Yeah.
I got that. I got it to a place,
Uh-huh.
right? I got it to a certain spot, the website. So it's up, it's active, needs some more work, but okay. It's more one of these things where I'm seeing that I need to be more focused, big picture, and I need to find people who can kind of handle the daily tasks while I look more big picture.
Right.
I did just about everything that I wanted to do, which would normally be, but I would normally melt into the couch and watch something absolutely stupid on Netflix, and I didn't do that once. I've even gone to where I'm now producing a condensed version of the Billified podcast.
Mhm.
So you have the hour and a half version if you want, or we can give you a condensed version. You can download either one. And I don't know where, like all of a sudden, all this stuff is coming and getting done. And
You're waking up.
Yeah. And it's been great. And at the same time, I feel like while I'll be very honest, or as honest as I can be, the past couple years, things have been a mess for me. Just a mess. Like I had problems before, and then they compounded, and I ignored them, and I kind of, and all of a sudden I feel like, okay, it's over. I don't know why it's over. And I feel like everything is just, I don't know if it's from the healing. I have no idea, because even
I know it's from the healing, but and I can explain to you why.
Because all right, let me keep babbling for just a second.
Keep going.
Because so the whole thing with you was like, I didn't know if I'd even be able to line up this week. And you said, when do you want to come? And I said, I don't know, I'm free now or whatever today. And you're like, all right, see you too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And I think in my head, I just didn't really think about it on purpose, because I also thought, you could get yourself like, I don't know, this could be kind of weird.
Yeah,
what is going to happen?
I really want to do that.
And then I just didn't care. Like, and I can do that. I've done that in many situations in my life, which I think has been beneficial, and maybe sometimes not so beneficial. But so I was, and then since then it's been that, and nothing has felt super overwhelming to me. It's just as much stuff that I have to do, but there isn't this like, well, if I don't get it done right now, you
Beat
know,
yourself up,
yeah. Well, I guess the beating yourself up.
or belittling yourself for expectations. You didn't get it done,
Yes.
and then you feel a certain way. That's your emotions.
Okay. So I think what I've noticed is that I go like with the website, I could find myself, that would be my whole focus and my obsession,
Mhm.
right? And I got to get this right, and I got this right. And I'm looking at it and I go, I see things that I have to do, but I also have these other things to do, and this is okay where it is right now.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Because last week I didn't have it, and the week before that I didn't have it. So it doesn't really matter that much. It's great. It's nice. Let's make sure we're updating it every day as to where we are, but it doesn't need to have this obsessive
Yeah.
grip on it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
there's more of a attitude of letting things happen. Let it come in. Know what you want and let it come in. Stop fighting it. Stop worrying about
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Just set the intention for what you want and go about your day. And I have found myself like, yeah, there's just an ease and a flow, and more as the week has gone on, as I've moved further, past
Yeah.
the what we did. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what the hell did you do to me?
All I did is help you waken up your own power.
Yeah.
All right. So the whole key is that people don't realize they have the power to heal themselves.
Yes.
And a lot of people want the magic pill, and they think only doctors and mainstream can only the way to do it.
Mhm.
However, we didn't have mainstream until hundreds of years ago, and we took care of ourselves the natural way. And so energy healing is natural healing, and it's also integrative. So you can use it along with mainstream. And so I also am a heart math licensed coach, which heart math is about building resilience against stress and trauma.
Tell me where the Heart Math Institute is.
It's in California.
Okay. Is it associated with the university or no? Oh, no.
No, Heart
Okay.
Math Institute
Yes.
is a scientific company.
But it is a scientific.
It's
That's
all
what I mean.
science.
That's what I wanted
It's all
people to
science.
realize, because I think there is an element of what we're talking about where people go woo woo whatever,
Exactly.
but a lot of this isn't anymore. It's just not.
That's why when I started in this, it was back 40 years ago. But when I really got involved with energy healing, I mean, I did mediumship and stuff like that because I always knew I had intuition and stuff like that. But it wasn't calling me, but I was doing my own healing. All right. And I knew that it worked because I was healing.
Mhm.
So when I was still working in mainstream, I came across through my mediumship healers that did Reiki, but I wasn't interested in Reiki. And my sister did Reiki, but it really didn't line up with me. I didn't take Reiki until after I became an IET master. But what caught my eye was it was healing that was done with angels. Because I've always been connected to the angels and Jesus and Mary, and especially with Easter coming, that's
Yeah.
coming up. And it's just your connection to your soul. It doesn't matter who you believe in or whatever. It is about who we really are as souls. So when I found out about IET, and it was about issues in your tissues,
Mhm.
right? Meaning things that are stuck in a negative way, but you can take it away with positive stuff. All right. Just like what happened with your session was that your body started to waken up. Your DNA recognized, all right, those blockages or things that was trying to heal. All right.
Mhm.
So this whole enlightenment thing
Mhm.
is you thinking differently, changing differently. It's like there's more to life.
Yes.
There's more to life.
Mhm.
And that's what it's all about. It's about your soul's purpose and using all the different techniques that you can use to help you. And as you know, I kind of counsel people because I am a reverend.
Mhm.
I am also a metaphysician. And I specialize in recovery work because I do have addiction background, my own recovery, but also education about it. And recovering is about changing, doing different, whatever it is. So you noticed in yourself that it didn't get you all upset. Things didn't get you upset like it did, or what was more important.
Yes, it was more like I don't need to go here because I know.
It's like, how important is it for you?
I think I was told by somebody, oh, if we continue talking, we're going to end up in an argument.
Well,
And I said, no, we're not. I said, because I don't I don't care. I'm not judging. I'm not saying anything.
But that goes back to when I have talked about many times on your show, is that my practice is about energy psychology.
Right.
How you formed as in the first 7 years of your life, how you related to the world, whether it was the environment, whether it was the things that you were taught. It's mostly about programming and beliefs and
Okay.
behaviors, how you behave. So you didn't behave in a way that he wanted you to behave. He wanted you to go back and forth and kind of,
Yeah.
hey, buddy, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And it's like, I don't believe that anymore. I mean, it doesn't make, it's not that important to me.
No.
And people say, what do you mean it's not really important? So that's really about their stuff.
Yes.
But,
it's not my stuff.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But it's about your stuff, is that you realize, and it's like, there's more important things to worry about having a conversation about cursive. Yeah. It would be good.
Yes.
It would be great.
Yes.
And especially,
right.
you know, as a grandmother, you know, when I heard that they stopped doing that, it's like, why in the world? Because they have to sign their name.
Yeah.
And they have to be able to read letters of, you know, even if they just do, you know,
the alphabet or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's many conversations you can have without getting angry.
Yes.
But the angry part comes with their programming and how they behave and how they relate to people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same with all the politics stuff that's going on now. You know, it's like people are they're just caught in that programming, and this is what they believe. And then it goes inside and they get angry because somebody's not agreeing with them.
Right.
And it says, it has nothing to do with that. It's like, I have different choices.
Yeah.
And I choose not to think that. And it's okay.
Right.
You know?
I have found myself saying, and it's something that you know, one of those easier said than done type things. But I've found myself going, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy.
And it starts inside first.
Yeah. And I want to just do the things that I need to do, but I want to do them happily. I want to do them with a positive attitude. I want to, you know, all this stuff. And it's every single thing that I have heard for years from the Buddhist who will tell you, you know, go within, or, you know, wash the dishes for the sake of washing the dishes and enjoy the warm water and the feel of the soap.
Gratitude.
Yeah. And all these things, instead of, I got to do the dishes, you know,
wash on, wash off.
Yeah.
All the lessons that you learned, Grasshopper learned.
Yes.
You know, and that's what it's all about. It's like, just like kids don't want to do certain things, you know, they don't want to clean up the rooms or whatever. It's like, well, how are you going to find anything? You got to have some clean clothes. It's like, well, it's under there somewhere. It's like, well, then you better get washing, you know. It's like, but it's the consequences from it.
Yes.
But sometimes people have not learned about consequences and continue to do the same behavior and expect or entitlement, right? And they play the victim role.
Yeah.
You know, so there's many, many avenues that you can go down.
And I found myself more quiet, less prone to turning on the TV. Yes. I think I honestly have not had the television on a whole lot. When I did put it on, and most of my stuff I'll watch is like ESPN. I like the talk shows and things. So I go, they're not really talking about anything. So I turn it off. Last night, I think, you know, I had some one silly movie on earlier in the week just for sort of background noise, and I enjoyed it, but it was lighthearted and had a happy ending. And it was almost, here's the funny thing, it was a movie that, if you were to say, somebody had an awakening.
Exactly.
In the movie. Like, it was just a comedy, but in the end, the guy's like, yeah, that's not what I want. That's not the life we want. Yeah. And other than that, I wanted to see the Four Nations tournament within the hockey. They didn't do an all-star game this year. I'm not a big hockey guy, but the idea of Canada versus the United States for the championship was intriguing.
Yeah, right.
And other than that, it's been music and writing.
Good, because music is vibration.
Yeah.
All right. And writing is using your intellect.
Yeah.
Going with inside, thinking.
Yeah.
Thinking of what to write type thing. So it's all inner stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, my brother, when he was still alive, he had to have the radio on. He had to have something in the background, you know, because he also has ADHD, you know, but he used to get really pissed at me when me in the car and I'd be driving, I didn't have the music on. You know, turn that on, you know, it's like, I don't want it on. Don't turn it on. I got to, whatever. And it's like a lot of people have to live like that.
Yes.
Because they can't listen to what's going on inside their mind. They can't settle in.
Yeah.
But you know, when I got into recovery 40 years ago, that was part of me starting to heal myself. And I had to go within first, you know, so that's where a lot of this started.
So I know that you have said people have come to you for this healing, sometimes at the urging of someone else.
Yes.
Right. And when they come in, they almost seem,
They're scared.
yeah, or a little bit resistant to it, right?
Yeah, especially if they have different belief system or was brought up differently or embarrassed. They don't want anybody to know,
Okay.
and so they don't know what's going to happen, and so I just kind of like ease them, on, it's okay. And most of the people that come to me are in the energy work. They know it works.
Yeah.
They do it, and it's about self-care.
Right.
It's not being selfish. A lot of people think it's selfish if when you go to take care of yourself, you take the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about self-care because we need to be good people first to be able to
Yes.
take care of our people.
Right.
Just like the oxygen mask on, in the
Yep.
airplane. It's the same thing. But what is happening is that, things have totally changed in the whole world. All right. And people know they're getting, ripped up with the energy and they know something's changed. And it has to do with people like us waking up
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that we can change. But a lot of people don't know that until they walk into somebody or meet somebody
Mm-hmm.
that they haven't seen in a long time and say, oh, you kind of changed. You look more relaxed. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you talk to them about it, you can get the reaction, whether they didn't want to argue with you about cursive or not. And I remember I used to be a church secretary and I was at Sam's Club. And I used to be quite involved in ministries in my church at Hope Lutheran. And one woman I
Hope
knew,
Lutheran in Greece.
Hopefully, yeah, on Vintage Lane. Yeah, we also were on Dewey Avenue before we built a big church. But came across somebody I knew, a woman, and she goes, "How are you doing? I haven't seen you." She goes, "What church are you practicing at?" I says, "Well, I'm not really going." I says, "I'm a metaphysical minister." And all of a sudden, she pulled back like this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like no. She goes, "Well, I will pray for you." I said, "Please do. I need all the help I can get, and I will pray for you too." But it was like her reaction. It's like, metaphysical. It's
Yes.
Shirley MacLaine out on a limb. New Age stuff. It's the Satan and all this, and it's not. But that's what we've been programmed.
Yes, we have.
We've been programmed. And it's all about choice. You choose that something's not right, that you want to change, that you want to, you're awakening. It's called awakening. And a lot of people are awakening because of all the changes. And, as I started to say about heart math, is that heart math is always about the heart connection, about love. All right. It's the strongest emotion, love. We love our kids no matter what, and we love our ancestors that have crossed over already. But the love is the strongest emotion. And Heart Math Institute was all about science.
Yeah.
And it was about measurable data showing that as you go in and self-regulate yourself through your breathing, the heart energy that's in the heart and the brain energy, all right, when you make those two connections with emotions of appreciation or joy or love, you relax. And that's exactly what the breathing's all about. You breathe in and you slow down your whole body so that you can go within inside. And that's where a lot of creativity comes in. When you don't have that music on, when you don't, when you're talking about writing.
Yeah.
And that is, natural stuff. But most of us, in this type of environment, get looked at like we're doing woo-woo, bad stuff, stay away from me, is because of programming that they have. They don't realize that they have a different choice. When I got into recovery, my parents were both alcoholics, and I became an alcoholic. It took me 20 years, even though I didn't drink like they did. But the thing is I never knew I had a choice. I always thought it was they were bad people and the willpower, they didn't have willpower. It has nothing to do with that. It had to do with the reason why they drank.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so when you think of feelings and what and how you respond to them, some people, stressors, the smoking, or the drinking and, they go through drinking stage as teenager and following the crowd and in college, and some never stop and some do,
right.
And so there's different reasons why. But when I finally realized and found out that it was a disease, at least modern medicine calls it a disease, then I realized I couldn't blame them anymore. I had to start taking responsibility for myself. And today I'm very, very grateful, is because it was part of my path to get to where I'm going in my own healing, right? And as I've shared before, I'm the only one that's left out of my family. And there was 8 kids, there was 10 of us all together. And all of them, had a role to play. And it was to help me do what I do now, the healing that's been done for me and the closeness that I have with them in spirit. But it's also is why I'm here and everything that I've experienced. And it was about emotions, how you dealt with things or didn't deal with things. And what happens, just like with the disease, like diabetes, not taking care of your body or whatever can cause diabetes. It also hereditary can too, but mostly it's the environment around the genes and the cells. So we've learned that through society. But once I realized that I had a choice. I had a choice to understand, what it was really all about. Then I chose to do different. I mean, I had a lot of consequences from it, but I knew to be able to survive, I had to. And it was my children that were a catalyst. So everybody does it for a different reason. But what is happening in humanity right now is the energy is totally different. And people they're having a real hard time. And it has to do with how do you relate to the stress? How is it going to affect your body? And what can you do about it? What can you do about it? So with IET, we went to different areas of anger and resentment and guilt. All right. And
Can
shame.
you feel all that from the person you're doing it? You can feel all of it?
Yes.
So are we allowed to ask questions about ourselves or no?
Well, you can, but the thing is a lot of people, they come to me, they know I'm a medium, so they want to know that.
Yeah.
And so, I used to do that when I used to give sessions, but most of it is that their loved ones will come in and I'll feel them.
Yeah.
And then I'll get in vision of how that blockage got in there, or the closest of a grandmother or whatever with a person.
Yeah.
And I'll see images and I'll see situations, and then I can talk to them about that. But my role is to bring the energy through, and the person's body has the power. That's the 24th chromosome. That's our intuition. That is our knowing sense. Is like it is, and it's all around us, and that is what it's all about. So the body will heal what needs to be healed, even if you don't know what it is. And the key is making it a priority to take care of yourself. And so when I talked about 3 sessions, all right, there's a reason for that, is because your body's been holding on to these negative energies for a long time. And as I said, you might have a reaction, might not, might be good, might be bad. But the thing is that even if you feel nothing was done, your soul knows something was done. And it might come to you 2 or 3 weeks down the line of something that you used to do, and all of a sudden you don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
That is the change in the DNA, your soul wakening up. And so the first session I have with you is because I do the 2 modalities, the IET and Unity Field. They go into the DNA, the cellular memory of the DNA. All right. And it's deep. And sometimes you have to go slow with it, is because if you slap somebody with a full Unity Field healing session, the 3rd level, it's like, it's going to be really hard for the body. So you gradually open them up.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the 3rd, it's like you're open up and you start to change things in your life. You can see how things are changing in your relationships, in your profession. And that's why when I teach IET, many of my students are professionals. So not so much healers.
Yeah.
Even though most of the healers come to me because they want to add it, or they have finally woken up and realized that they need to heal something in themselves. And that's the whole key, is that we all have issues in our tissues, every single one of us.
You got to get that on a t-shirt.
Right.
That has to
Issues in the tissues.
It has to be on a t-shirt. I love it.
And it's like, and it follows you around, and if you don't do something, you stay stuck.
Right. And it's one of those where we can look at things that are simple, that, what's the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over, and expecting a different result. And we all know the simple things, but sometimes when it's personal or in you or your reaction or whatever, or it's just innate, we don't think of that necessarily as something we can fix.
Exactly.
You know, people go, I'm wired that way.
Okay, so that is a way of explaining who they are and not taking responsibility.
Exactly. I'm just wired
That's
that
a
way.
cop-out.
And
It's
I
like,
go,
it's okay,
yeah,
we're not there yet.
but you can rewire
You
yourself,
can.
right? We can rewire a house. We can rewire you. I could rewire a car. You know, there's ways to do that. And I think that it's important because I think you have to first, I would say to someone, if you were going to go to Sheila, I would take time before I go and think about, what do I really want to be? What do I really want to be?
So why are you here?
Yeah.
And that's why I talk to people first.
Yeah. Yeah. You do. You talked to me for a long time, but I would say that for people just to decide themselves, who do they want to be? How did you always see yourself when maybe you were younger? Like, I want to go that way.
Why are you unhappy?
Yeah.
The thing is, why are you unhappy? Why isn't, a lot of people will say, well, I have everything. I should be okay. You know, that's a shouldn't on yourself.
Yeah.
That is the area in the shoulders where you put the weight of the world on your shoulders because
it's another
the
t-shirt. Stop shitting on yourself.
You know,
Yeah.
Stop shitting on yourself. That's right. Exactly. And so people can relate to that. And they don't realize that it has to do with their muscle aches and their neck and their shoulders. Well, it all affects you. And then you have problems in your stomach area. You know, you feel powerless. I can't change. It's not going to change. So why should I even try type thing?
Yeah.
You know, that's poor me type of thing. And, but we all go through it. And it's about not being happy in your life. And what can you do to change?
Right.
It's being stuck.
Yeah. I think that the one thing that I do believe, I think, again, is another hard thing. Everything is within you.
Oh,
you got to get it all from within you. Self-validation has to come from within. Everything has to come from within.
Everything.
You rely on the outside world for self-validation. Well, that's not somebody's job. If you just acted differently, I would be so happy.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Well, that's why, when a lot of the people that come to me are professionals, and and I always say, my profession, being in healthcare, one of the hardest things, because we wear the biggest mask. The same with law enforcement and stuff like that. Yeah. What we have to do, right? And when you get home, you have relationship problems, because if you just do what I said, because you have to be in control,
right?
Whether it's in law enforcement or whether it's in healthcare, whatever you're doing, it's a certain way of doing it, But then they're not on the same page, and so you're like two different people,
right? And
so your life falls apart, and that's where I come in. Help you say, okay, let's take a look at this. Why, they say I have had so many marriages, I've had so many relationships and all this addictions and all this other stuff that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Because you have to put the mask on.
Right.
You have to be strong. I was taught I can't show my emotions. I was taught, that I have to be the professional, or some people aren't happy in their employment. They want to change.
Right.
So when they come for sessions, they start to realize that they have power and the choice.
Yeah, it's in you.
It's
inside you.
You have to take the action.
Yeah, you're not. No one can really do. I mean, how do I say this? Because I just thought of like two examples of people saying, "Well, that's not true." But I don't really believe that there's anything that someone can assert on you, more or less. And I would say that you can wind up in situations where, because of where you're vibing at, you
take advantage of,
collide with somebody who's either going to take advantage of you. I mean, you could say to someone like, well, how do you explain the person who put a knife in somebody's back and now they're not here? And okay, I can't, but there are those that would tell you somewhere along the line, that unfortunate circumstance happened because people are vibrating on this low vibration together.
Oh, they bring it on themselves.
Yeah, I know. And it's so hard to think about, well, this isn't my fault.
Well, that's true. And they say, well, why God do this? It's crazy. They get angry. It's like, well, wait a minute. Let's go back to what Earth is all about. It's about our free will.
Yeah.
At least in America, it's supposed to be about our free will. It's about our free will. And we have choices. And some people are so hurt that they're so angry, they are at a different, lower frequency.
Right.
And they think differently.
Yes.
And they think nothing of stealing from another person or hurting another person because they deserve it type
Right.
thing. Well, that's what's taught. That's where the energy psychology comes in.
Okay.
All right. But they haven't hit their bottom or shown any different to be a different person. And some have.
Hmm.
But you can pick up that negative energy from somebody, and they will pick up on the person that has a frequency that they can tap into. In other words, control.
Yep.
All right. The same with a lot of women that are very codependent because
Yes.
they want to be loved. They will pick men that are, not healthy,
Right.
and all these things happen. And then, they are victimized and, poor her, but really it's like it was her choice to be in it. So you got to look at it. It's like, I didn't deserve to do this. No, of course not. You didn't deserve to do that. However, you have a choice to get out.
Right.
It's time.
Right.
But a lot of people will try to blame you. Well, you should have known.
Yeah,
You should have known. It's like, well, I didn't, choose to get raped, or I didn't choose to get beat up, and it's like, well, yeah, too bad. That's your consequence. It's like, no,
No. Right.
no.
Yeah.
And just like I wasn't the person I was 40, 50 years ago.
Right.
And I'm 70,
Yeah.
so I've had many years to learn this stuff.
Right.
But it's like, it's just do it slowly. Just recognize that you're not happy. And if you put it out there, I need to change. I need somebody out there. And that's when serendipity comes in, and the energy will bring you the right people.
Yes.
A friend of mine this morning sent me a video that her husband just did, and they're both veterinarians that have both retired, and they have a 100-acre sanctuary out by Oswego. And yesterday, the husband, Kevin, I'll just say the first name, Kevin and Thea, he was going to go out in the barn. They have a lot of equipment, stuff like that. And he was getting ready to go out. And then all of a sudden, Thea says, Kevin, wait a minute. Can you help me for a second? So I came and helped her. And all of a sudden, they heard this big boom. Their whole barn fell in.
Whoa.
The weight of the snow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If he went out, she didn't ask him that, he would have been right in the middle of that, could have gotten killed.
Wow.
And it's like, she knew to ask him. It's like, how did she know it? Because she knew it was, she's very spiritual, and she's one of my students that I've taught, and she is very good with animals, and she does all this stuff. So she sensed it. But it's like, if you don't listen to things that are being told to you, I need to have help, ask them to have help. Or all of us have experienced it, that we're at or gotten hurt or not hurt,
right.
And then realize, oh, that was a close call.
That was a close call. Right.
Yeah, that was a close call.
Right. I yeah, I know somebody who was supposed to be on like one of the planes leaving Boston on 9/11. And somebody said to them, do you feel like you had divine? And they said, no, I just feel like I was late, like I'm always late. And I'm no more special or anything than the people on the plane. I think it's the right answer to give publicly, but I would think somewhere along the line, maybe you listen to something. I would say, feeling open, because these are all emotional things. And it's not like, I know what opening a door is. Close the damn door. It's cold outside, right? How do I open myself up? And I think that just has to do with relaxing and just believing and not having such a tight grip on everything in your life. If you just sort of relax a little bit and know what you want and go out there with a pure intention, I think most things will come your way. You have the power to have or be or do whatever you want.
That's right.
We don't.
You don't know how to use it. You don't know how to get it.
Yeah.
You haven't been taught.
No. And that's the thing, is I almost wish that this was something that was taught or would be more, I don't know, available, I guess.
Well,
in some way.
it's
It is
coming.
available, but
It's coming.
yeah.
And just like, 20, 30 years ago, acupuncturists and massage therapists and
We're not.
chiropractors were not accepted by mainstream.
Yeah.
And now they are, because they know it's preventative. The same with energy work. Energy work has always been very beneficial, but it's been gotten the bad rap.
Yeah.
Just like our healthcare and our, our food and what the changes that are happening now. So another 5 years from now, things are going to be totally different. What is happening also as a healer or a light worker, a light worker is a person that tries to stay in the higher frequency. All right. And think positively instead of negative. And a lot of people think negative. All right, all the time, and that's because that they were brought up with that,
Well,
and they can't deal.
that is the way they're wired. But my point is, you can
Exactly.
rewire that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was brought up with that. Always have a discreet sense of paranoia and blah blah.
Yeah.
When you actually say these things out loud, you go, "How ridiculous is that?"
Yeah.
And I think, like, for people who maybe you want to try it on yourself, if you go in and find the belief and go, "Oh, that's bullshit. That's not bullshit," and then literally let it go, because those are the things. I think the healing stuff, to me, is I find it all fascinating.
It's amazing.
I really do. And for me, I can see I have just had a better week, and I've been able to stay focused in a week where normally I've had friends of mine even say to me, because, "Oh, your son's been gone all week, so you've been over at the bar?" And I said, "No, I haven't been there once.
Yeah.
I haven't been there once."
A lot of times people I know,
And it's nothing like, you're avoiding. It's just that I feel like
everything
my
changes.
purpose right now is this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything changes.
Yeah.
It's like it takes a priority, but that's what it's all about. You
Mhm.
need to make yourself a priority. A lot of people say, "Well, that's being selfish," or "How come you're not coming here?" or whatever. It's like, it's all right. I'm still friends with you.
Yes.
But then when you do stop going to the bar or whatever, you find out who your real friends are.
You do. I these guys you'll drop in and out all the time, but
Yeah.
I just feel like right now
Well,
I don't want to lose the time, because I will lose the time. It'll carry
Yeah.
into the next day. I
Yeah.
won't get out of bed. I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
this. And I've been,
what's important to you now?
yeah, I don't know what's happened, but that's the thing that I go, it's been this thing, right? And but the feeling of overwhelmment has been sort of suffocating. And now it just feels like, no, you can just do it here. No big deal. Not
Yeah.
going to end the world. I keep thinking, but you hadn't had it done a month ago. So why are you sweating about it now? Nothing's going to really change. Let's just keep going and let's do it. Let's just do it, and let's see what we got. And if it's a much lighter feeling and a much lighter attitude toward things.
Happier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what was I guess I am curious as to what is my energy when you're around that. Like, I don't even know, because I've had people say to me, "Oh, I can feel your energy," and
Oh, right.
I can feel your energy.
Oh,
People have said, "Yeah,
Well, I could tell the difference when I walked in here, because you came right up to give me a hug.
yeah."
Usually I come in and then we get together and stuff, but you came, it's like, and that's because we've been in each other's energy, but also, there's a purpose for it.
Yeah.
And you feel better about it.
Yeah.
And that's where serendipity comes in. It's exactly where your soul wants you to be, more happy, and go within. And people think it's crazy, but it's not.
No.
It's not. It's sacred. And a lot of people want to say, "Well, Sheila, you're getting really holy there." It's like, no, it's divine. When we talk about, good and bad, and Jesus and, the devil and stuff like that, it's like, it is the opposite, back and forth, back and forth. But you want to be in the middle. You want to find the balance.
Yes.
And when you have to get angry, you get angry. But why get angry over the small stuff? Don't sweat the small stuff.
Exactly.
How important is it?
It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not.
But a lot of people say, "Well, it is important. You got to talk to me about this curse stuff. We're not going to have this conversation." It's like, because that's what they're used to.
Yes. Right.
Right. But it's like, wait a minute.
Well,
let's have a conversation, or just
I'm starting to see that when we rail against things and we come as a group and we push, we get more of it.
Oh.
As though the universe is just giving you what you want. It doesn't matter good or bad. It's just going to give you back what you believe, what you think, what you have. And if you can change that, you will see the stuff change. And then you can kind of go, "Oh,
well, you know what? It's education."
yeah.
And a lot of people, when they think it's about ignorance, because they don't know any different. And they will put somebody down because "Oh, you don't have a degree," or "I got a degree," or whatever. That's all the ego.
Yeah.
That's all the issues in the tissues.
Yeah.
The fear, the anger, the shame, all this stuff. But they're hiding it. And they hide it with their superiority, that they're better than you, and they'll put you down. So right there, you're not going to get balance at all in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like reading people, but you can feel them when they come in. You can feel, if they're receptive or not, and it's like, life is too freaking short. It's too short to be unhappy. It's too.
I think when you will say it as disrespectfully as I can, croak.
Yeah.
That you go back into pure positive light,
You
and
do.
all the resistance is gone. And you could have that on your journey if you just
Exactly.
try. Just try. And that's the real work. Not and look, we need the contrast. We came here for the contrast. We need to know what we don't want, what we do want, and these sorts of things. How many times has somebody gone, oh, that sounds ridiculous, and then they've gone, and all of a sudden they're now a professional paddleball player or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Pickleball. It's like that's a stupid game. I'm just trying to think of a very base example. But you wind up, if you just open yourself up to this idea that it's all right here and you can have it and you can live happily and freely and openly.
Right.
And, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it more.
Yeah.
There'll be less stress. There'll be less crap. And you just kind of, I don't know, you become your own best friend.
Absolutely.
In a way.
Absolutely. I love it. I
Yeah.
love doing what I do.
Yeah.
And helping people. And that's what I'm here to do. I know it.
Yeah. And I think people probably I'm surprised. I never think in the medium thing. I think you and I've talked about this before. I'll just mention it and we can kind of wrap here. But I always think that even that is a good guide to show you where you are.
Oh, yeah.
You look at your bank statement to see where am I, right? But this is a good way to see where you are because you can change that by changing your thinking. I think that I thought really mediums is of read a vibration and go, well, keep on this path and this is what happens. Change the path and better things or worse things, depending, happen.
Mhm.
And like, I always think that time is very fluid in terms of even the now. It's sort of fluid. You get to make your choice. You've got, if you choose here, well, then time shows you this. And if that, it's a weird, I know it sounds
No,
so strange. Well, I think for most people it sounds strange. And yet I go, no, I think that is absolutely what is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The time is changing. Things are changing. The energy is changing.
Yeah.
And it's affecting us in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that this mediumship stuff where you're being read,
Yes.
somebody can read you is fearful. It's scary. Don't read me.
Well, it's scary and it's absolute. And I would say, I don't know that it's absolute in terms of what they're telling you. I think it's absolute if you how you handle, because how many people go, I went there and they got me completely wrong. And I'll say, maybe not. Maybe somewhere, maybe not. Maybe somewhere you were on that path, and had they not said something to you, you're like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then you didn't.
Yeah. Or they don't see that in themselves. And just like we talked about before, a guy would act just like the father, and they'd be out with his friends and say, gee, you're just like your father.
Yeah.
I am not. I am not.
Right.
It's like, well, they were, but they don't see it. And
Right.
then until they keep being told that, they're ready to take a look at it.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't act like that.
Right.
But it's the same thing. But energy work and mediumship is very helpful for people. A lot of people want them to heal them.
Yes.
And
you're
it's
coming to them for answers like, help me, I'm desperate.
Well, that's why when people come to me and they say, I want a reading. Well, how can I help you? Well, I want a reading. It's like, okay, well, I can do that. I said, but I'm more of a healer. Can refer you to somebody. And I said, but what do you want to have in the reading? Well, I really like my grandfather or my mother or whatever. And then they'll start talking about, they're unhappy, and they hope that, they will forgive them and all this sort of stuff. But that's really about their own healing. And that what happens is that the loved one comes through and verifies that they're very loved.
Right.
And a lot of people forget that, and we talked about this before, is that we all have different roles to play. We have all different personas to learn the wisdom from lifetime to lifetime. And also, when they do cross over, a medium can bring that persona through by saying certain things or act in a certain way or referring to a certain situation. That's evidential medium. That's what I do.
Okay.
All right. And so that is validation that it's real.
Right.
But people don't want to have, let their loved ones that have passed see them have sex or, whatever. And they think, oh, they can see everything. It's like, no, they don't. It's the love. It's the soul. It's the vibration.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. And it's part of who you are as a human being with a soul.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our thinking. That's our intelligence. That's our compassion. That's our love. And it's all in the heart center.
Yeah.
you know? And so, yeah,
He-
it's
Heal it and bring it out. But I think that
it's wonderful.
my suggestion, and just an opinion, go to SheilaTillich.com, TILLICH, and sign up.
Yeah.
Well, let's say, but I would say sit down with a notebook and just write freely. What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want? So you have an intention,
Exactly.
like when you come in, and you want all the things that are preventing this person that you're putting out on the page from coming forth to be removed or lessened or whatever. I don't know what.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that would be a best practice. I think to do
Exactly.
that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did not sit down and write. I came in, but I had for so long been doing exactly that, and at times writing it. What do I really want? Where am I going? How am I going to do this? And a lot of times I'm starting to realize the how isn't up to you, right? That sounds ridiculous, but what do you want? Great. Okay, good. Now go. Get
Uh-huh.
out of here. Go live and
Yeah.
be free, and don't worry about it. The how isn't up to you. Just I want that.
Yeah.
And
It's
be
putting one
open.
foot in front of the other,
Yeah.
and it's called having hope,
Yep.
but also trusting
Yes.
that, it's going to be better. That's
Well,
where you're going inside.
I
You
often
know.
think you have to use a religious term, faith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
part of the trust.
Yep.
That you have faith that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The good things are going to happen. And a lot of people they can't look at the good things because they're so hurt. They're
Yeah.
so, damaged, as they say, but you're really not damaged. Nobody's damaged. God
No.
doesn't make junk.
No.
But it's how you relate to people.
Right.
What you believe, it's that frequency.
Yep.
It's all about that frequency.
It's all about the frequency.
Yeah. So the classes I teach is really good because, as I said, I teach a whole bunch of people, not just healers. And it's all about understanding what are the issues in your tissues. Where is it stored in the body? How does it come out?
Right.
And how can you understand it and then change
Right.
and grow? So that's what my classes are about what is integrated energy therapy. It's the integration of the energy of the divine quantum energy,
Mhm.
and it's about releasing what no longer serves you.
Mhm.
All right. Those old energy loops of distortion that
Yep.
were just for survival.
Yes.
But what happens too is that we self-sabotage. We go a certain rate and then we stop and we go back.
I always go, I get in my own way. I get in my own way. I'm in my own way. Get out of my way. Me, get out of my way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
So when I do the classes, when people go through the 4 levels, the 3 levels, their actual consciousness frequency gets higher and that they can feel things better or expand more.
Yeah.
All right. So the shift of consciousness is the new energy that is here happening now. That's the energy in the magnetic field
Uh-huh.
around us and above us and then below, and then how it affects our physical body around us
Right.
and the people that come into our life. And if you think negative things, that's what's going to come in. That's what we talked about before.
Yes.
Try to think more positive and hopeful,
Right.
and yes, trust and faith.
I would go minuscule in terms of like, even because I think sometimes we say, well, you just got to think positively. Okay.
I know.
Right. How do I do that? And I think sometimes if we just start to go, you know what? I love whatever I have. It could be this cup of coffee and this quiet moment that I have right now before the chaos breaks out. And I'm so great. And I'm telling you, man,
Yeah.
everything starts to just so like it's a
Exactly.
flow and a release, and you feel better, and you just got to go. I'm excited for the next 2 sessions
Okay.
with
Good.
you, and
Yeah.
I think that I would recommend it to anybody.
Absolutely.
But I think coming in with a good intention,
Oh yeah.
an end game, understanding it, just going like, and I think you should probably do that. I've been told by people who call their parents, what do I intend to get out of this phone call? Is it just to this? Is it check on them? Whatever. So I have that intention, and the phone call goes better.
Yes.
Isn't that
exactly.
weird? It's like, yeah. And you go, oh, that sounds stupid.
No.
But it doesn't. It's
Well,
not.
a lot of times people
Yes.
don't want to call their parents because they don't want to listen.
Yes,
to
they don't want to listen. Right.
And
Here we go.
it's like, no, it's like you need to have a relationship with them, an adult relationship with them,
Yes.
and really come from love. And it's
Yep.
really important,
Yep.
to be there for each other.
100%.
And never give up on love, ever, ever.
Right.
And always remember that they're always your parents, no matter how old you get.
That's right.
The same with your kids.
Yes.
You know, and
Yep.
treat them with respect, just like
Yes.
you want your kids to treat you with respect.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really
It's a
it's all
two-way
about.
street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Sheila, once again, another great conversation with you, and I can't recommend the healing enough.
Yeah, and
Reiki, IET, Unity Field, and a little bit of the stars mixed in.
and I also on March 8th I have a free presentation about energy medicine, and it's you can find it on my website too, but it's at 34 Elton Street. It is a healing center, a wellness center called Frequency Wellness Space, and it's where I'm going to do a presentation from 1 to 3 on March 8th for anybody,
Okay.
just to learn about energy medicine, and then I'm going to have the last half hour and a question and answer.
Okay.
So people can answer that. And then also the end of March on a Wednesday afternoon is through the Parenting Community Center. I'm going to be having an angel class.
I did see that.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the month.
That's at the end of the month.
And probably need to sign up
March.
for both these.
Yeah. But I mean, it's something to look forward to
Yes.
go and get information. So, in between, I have another intensive workshop where I teach the 3 different levels, and that's March of, I think it's the 16th, 17th, or 17th, 18th, and 19th of March.
Okay.
I have a class which is limited because I only teach 6 people at a time. And then a week later, I do the classes. The angel classes is going to be a 4-week class, 2 hours each week, and it ends the week before Easter.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
It's wonderful connecting with your angels. It's the IET angels, and how does it relate to you, your own relationship? So it's really special.
Well, this is all fantastic.
Yeah.
And you can find out all that information on your
Website
at SheilaTillich.com. Sheila, TILLICH.com.
You got a
Well, Sheila, another Billightenment in the can. And I'm actually going to, the next thing to do is it's going to be its own podcast where you don't have to sift through Billified episodes. You can just go to Billightenment. And that'll probably happen either later today or sometime this weekend. See? And it's all your fault, Sheila. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Exactly.
Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you got as much out of this as we did. Billightenment. Until next time.
Step into the light, my friend. The power's in your hands, no end. Break the chains and watch them fall.